Thanks for clicking on the clip. Welcome to Russian Trucking. My name is Scott. Today, I'm going to put you in the driver's seat and we're going to drive up over Monteagle Mountain in about 45 minutes northwest of Chattanooga, Tennessee. So enjoy the ride. Alright, here we are at the base of Monteagle. Speed limit just went from 65 to 55, but I always try to keep as much speed as I can to keep the momentum up going up the mountain here. So there's very little distance between the speed limit change and when the truck's going to slow down anyway, so I'm not worried about, you know, quote unquote speeding, and there's not going to be any cops here waiting to try to catch truckers. So for those of you wondering, I am driving a 2017 Kenworth T680. It has somewhere around 450 horsepower. I want to say around 1,100 foot-pounds of torque. 10-speed automated manual. And yes, for you old heads, I'm sure you're saying, automated, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Well, I'm fine with it. Gets the job done. I get from A to B, and I get paid. So, good to go. Alright, so right now, we're in 8th gear, going 48 miles an hour at 1500 RPM. There, the engine blower just came on. And we're at 45. 44. Put our hazard lights on because it's not going to get any faster from here. Alright, so this is my GPS. I use the Rand McNally 740. Right now we're at 1,365 foot above sea level. Just want to show you guys what kind of climb we're doing, because I know the video, it's hard to tell elevation. Kind of flattens everything, so alright, 38. This thing does pretty good on the mountains. I'm carrying 45,000 pounds of wishbone salad dressing, which puts me just a hair over 78,000 pounds. But luckily I don't have any trucks in front of me slowing me down, but if there are, you know, you just do your best to keep the hammer down, and if there is a slower truck that, you know, you come up on, hopefully there's room in the left lane where you can just keep the hammer down and go out around them. Because the moment you let off the accelerator on this mountain, you lose all that momentum. Alright, now even though I'm a little over 45 miles an hour, it's going to get steeper again here. So I'm just going to leave my hazards on. No sense in turning it off and back on. This is such a beautiful drive, the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee. Check my mirrors. See, now here there's a creeping truck, but there's somebody coming up on my left. He's gonna pass me before I get up to him. Let's put my left blinker on, and it's going to time out perfectly. So now that would have sucked to have it slow down to his speed, which he's probably going no more than 20. It's going to take him half an hour to get to the top. So we're in 7th gear now, 1650 RPM, going 36. Elevation is up to 1860. Just shifted to 8th, down to 1200 RPM. See those 2 green dots there? That's the ideal power band. That's where this engine gets its most torque. There's the climb, 45 miles an hour. Go ahead and turn these off because we're not climbing anymore. So I'm gonna keep recording here because I want you to see the downgrade as well. Now with this mountain, before we start the downgrade, there's a mandatory truck pull off to check our brakes, make sure they're working and good to go, and so you'll see that here in a few seconds. So we're going to climb a little bit more, but nothing significant. So right now we're sitting at 1,854 feet above sea level. And I'll call it out again right before we start going down over.
Steep downgrade ahead.
Well, thanks. Thanks for giving me the heads up. I do really like this Ram McNally. It's done a really good job for me. It has its quirks. It's not right all the time. No GPS is, but I'm happy with all its functions. Alright, there you can see the sign. Steep downgrade, next 4.5 miles. Truck inspection station, exit only. So we'll get over here. All trucks must exit. Now, there's quite a few trucks behind me, but when you're coming into here, you can either go straight or around to the right. So if there's a lot of trucks in front of you here, you can kind of go around to the right to save some time. All right, so I'm gonna turn on Jake brakes here. So that's the on-off switch here. And then the selector. So 2-cylinder, 4-cylinder, or 6-cylinder. Since I'm so heavy, I'm definitely using the 3-cylinder. The most engine brake I can get. So after every truck, typically it turns red, but it stayed green. So we'll go. Alright, if you notice, just as we crest the hill here, we're at 1,800. So the top is about 1,860 feet above sea level. Alright, so as soon as we start going down over the hill here, you'll see a speed limit sign for trucks on the right and left. Because I'm so heavy, I'm at the slowest speed limit, which is 25. Right now I'm in 8th gear, just downshifted to 7th. And right now my foot's not on any of the pedals, and it's slowing me down. I'm at 35 miles an hour right now, 34, 33. And this is a 6% grade. So what I can actually do is I'll bump it down to 4 cylinders until I notice that the speed starts to come back up, and then once it does, I'll bump it back up to 6 cylinders. And you kind of do the same thing with the accelerator and the brake. If it's slowing you down a little bit too much, you can just bump the accelerator. It'll kind of shut the engine brake off for a second. Here, I'll do it this next time here once I get below 30. I'm at 31 right now, 1400 RPM, 7th gear. Alright, I'm at 30. So I'll go ahead and do it. I'll just tap on the accelerator here. So it kind of just releases it. Take the foot off the accelerator. Speeds you up a little bit. And then the engine brake kicks back in as needed. The mountain kind of levels out here for a second and then gets steeper again. So I'm not worried about going too fast here, but I will tap the brake. Stab brake, which is a consistently fairly hard use of the brake to drop you about 5 miles per hour, and then you get off the brake. You definitely don't want to ride your service brakes here. Last time I came down here, there was somebody that was smoking them in front of me. Well, it's both scary to see and it smells horrible. Alright, so we'll stab brake one more time, getting up there a little bit. Alright, 45 down to 40, good. And we'll just let her ride. So for those of you who are wondering how a Jake brake works, basically it's an exhaust, it alters the engine's use of the exhaust valve. In each cylinder, when you turn the Jake brake on, it opens up an exhaust valve on each of those cylinders, which allows compressed gas to escape, and that is what causes the engine to basically work as an air compressor and slow you down. So you'll hear them referred to as engine brakes, Jake brakes, but it's all the same. And we're getting close to the end here. This is the next to last curve. The right lane's gonna end up here. So alright, there's nobody coming fast in the lane next to me, so I'll go ahead and move over. And we flatten out after this next curve. But I'm going to keep it in check because it's a fairly sharp curve. So 8th gear, 54 miles per hour, 1725 RPM. I mean, it's not a sharp curve if you're going 50-55, but if if you would have lost your brakes and got going about 65, 70, that's a pretty sharp curve. So that's it. We're at the bottom. Good to go. Appreciate y'all watching. Click on that little button there. Subscribe, like, share, and we'll catch y'all next time.